Hello, Aquas. How are you guys? I'm going to do a reading for 2023. I do want to talk about a few things as I shuffle, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes coming. And, I have to brace for even like people not wanting to hear it. Because people have been, I don't think most of my viewers are like this, but there definitely are the ones, the stray people who will watch tarot who are. But, you have to brace for these people in your everyday life too. And that is the fact that, astrology-wise, Saturn and Pluto ain't playing around. And they are kind of forcing people to change. If you don't want change, you're not striving for change or growth, you see a lot of people highly reactive in the real world, in social media, and, it's oftentimes because they're not doing the soul work. They're not working on themselves. So the best thing that they can do is be destructive and lash out at other people. And with Saturn going into Pisces next year, a lot of people are going to be forced to look at a lot of things they've been avoiding. Think about that 12th house, spirituality, traumas, emotional triggers, all of these things. A lot of people have been opting not to face it, and we've seen a lot of ugly in people the last few years. We've also seen a lot of good too. When things change, you see people's true colors, and we also learn a lot about ourselves. We change, I don't know about you guys, but as an Aquarius, I value change. I value growth, and I'm probably going to be very different next year because I love changing and growing, but some people don't. Now, we Aquas have had some really tough times, with Saturn in our sign. And even though it's kind of a co-ruler, we're really more ruled by Uranus, so we kind of like freedom and change. We don't really like boundaries and feeling like we're controlled. But yet, with us having Saturn in our sign, we might have felt quite a bit of restriction. There might be a lot of things that we felt like we couldn't change, or a lot of things we didn't feel like we had control over, or that we felt others may have had control over us. Now, what's really got me is the Pluto entering our sign briefly next year, and then it's going to come back in 2024 and stay for roughly 20 years or so, right? I'm sure it's not going to be a walk in the park for us. But collectively, I think there's going to be some people losing their shit big time. And we've got to brace ourselves for that. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, it was during the American Revolution, with the French Revolution, it's going to kind of spark people's desire to fight the powers that be. And especially me watching like the whole, I'm looking at my board, the Saturn entering Pisces. And then briefly, it's going to be on March 7th when Saturn does that. And then on the 23rd of March, Pluto's in Aqua until June 11th. We're going to get a little taste, okay? I feel like the people who are not doing their soul work are going to blame the powers that be for all of their problems. That already is going to happen with Pluto and Aquarius. Now, here's the real strange catch about Aquarian energy. Even though it should be about humanitarianism and yet individuality, with Pluto in Aqua, there's like an undertone of deceitfulness still, because while Americans were busy fighting for their independence, corporations multiplied like 300% or something. It was like crazy, right? So, I mean, if some of you guys may or may not know this, but there's been certain families, being of the R, that's been funding wars for a very long time. A lot of corporations, a lot of people have learned they make a lot of money off of war. And so while people were busy thinking that they were fighting for their freedom, there was still also a lot of underhanded, old world elites. It's kind of like, so let's put it this way. We fought for our independence, right? So England no longer had control over us. So what did they do instead? A lot of their elites, a lot of their rich people decided to buy us out. And, we have to watch out about a lot of that stuff, okay? We may actually see a lot of people fighting for independence, fighting the powers that be, but there could be a lot of dark Plutonian energy also underhandedly trying to profit off of this, And we, as in collectively the people, don't have the power in any way, shape, or form to physically fight governments at this point in time, I think if people rebel, it's going to be more of non-violent, but yet very disruptive nonetheless. An example I've been giving is like, say, what if all the truckers decide to all quit? Not protest, but all quit. What if they just all quit? What would happen to the, supply chain? And we need to be prepared for all of these disruptions. Now, I know some people are worried about world wars, and that happened during Leo, Pluto and Leo. So, at least the second one. So, I don't know. It doesn't mean we won't. But I do think people are very dissatisfied with our government right now. And, I'm just saying brace for it. I'm not saying go and get in debt stocking up on canned foods. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be prepared for people acting out of character. And, I even have to brace myself when I do talk like this, because you'll have people that will down and be like, don't get political and stuff, even though I'm not calling out, one end or the other. I'm not discriminating against anyone. Some people are so reactive that if you even bring any of this up, they flip out. It's like, no, because they're in denial. If they're in denial, this is going to be hard for them. And some of them could be dangerous, But so long as you're self-aware, I think, life will go on. Things will change. They always do. It is what it is, right? I think it will be intense. In the readings I've done so far, even when I did my own readings, very, very intense, very, very transformational, but yet it needs to be, done. I mean, these planets move for a reason. The energies shift around us for a reason. You have some people that think that this is all frou-frou, make-believe, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but do you not notice how the tide changes with the moon? You can see that effect because the moon is so close to us. Just because you can't see the effects the same way doesn't mean not all of these pushing and pulling entities don't have an effect on humankind. You know what I mean? Or nature even. And also, I wanted to tell people too, when I do this, if you see me interpreting any of this in a way that feels negative to you, or, you feel like it's kind of leaving you feeling worse than before, I love to go to biddytarot.com. It's, I'm not affiliated. Like I've said on my other readings, I'm small potatoes. Biddy's been around forever. But she has a way of interpreting cards where I love her perspective. Sometimes I have to get out of my perspective. I have a lot of Plutonian energy, okay? I have Pluto in my ascendant. So I know what it's like to be Pluto and Aqua as my main characteristics, and I definitely do not like to be tied down. I don't really understand the monetary systems of money. It kind of freaks me out. I just don't see working in a cubicle. I don't really like governments. I kind of want to just stick to myself and be in my own free will, but I also don't ever harm anyone. So, you know what I mean? It's almost like I am at odds with a lot. And I have a feeling that's going to be happening on a collective level very soon. But she has a way of seeing things from a perspective that I don't always, because Plutonian energy can be negative. It can be critical. It can be from a negative perspective. And, you know, she can turn things into a way where I'm like, oh, that makes more sense now. I needed that, you know? She can make cards see that they can teach you a valuable lesson that you can grow from and help you tap in to get to know yourself better so you can go through your highest purpose with grace, you know? Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling 3 cards for each 3 months, 12 in total. 1 for work or finances, 1 for your personal life or kind of like the inner workings or what is affecting you that hits inner, you know, deep. And then the last one is just love in general. And for work, the first, I was here going, please don't let this be me. I already did a reading for me, dang it. Okay, the first 3 months I have the 4 of Cups. So work and finances, you're probably a little dissatisfied. It doesn't mean you don't have options. It doesn't mean that you don't have offers. It doesn't mean you don't have money. I mean, as a matter of fact, you have 4 ways you could go, but I don't think you're necessarily satisfied with them at that time. And then in your personal life, you have the Ace of Wands, which means you probably want to start something for yourself, something, a passion project, something you really care about. You want to get in on something new and inspiring. You want to act on something. And then in love, we have the Fool reversed. So I have a feeling if you have the Fool reversed in your love sector, I feel like you probably are not focused on love. You don't want to be anybody's fool. You know, you're kind of saying, yeah, no. Even if you are in a relationship, you're probably not going to be swooning over anyone or letting them, you know, deceive you in any way. You're not going to go in blind, let's put it that way. You're not just going to frolic among the flowers and go, oh, this is a wonderful love life. You know, you're going to be very down to earth, very grounded, and very logical about any approach to love. Now, for your second 3 months, I have, oh, that's so wild. Oh, no way. I had to look down after this because, like, I got so many of the same cards in Cancer and Scorpio. It scared me, and I was like, I know I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled. And I did. I shuffled between each video a lot, too. And when you pull this many cards, you're going to get some of the same ones. It just is what it is. I see a lot of the same ones, you know. I see some that we got for Pisces. I see some that we got for both Cancer and Scorpio. So you definitely want to check your Astro macros or consider if you're dealing with a Cancer or Scorpio or someone, right? We do have the 2 of Cups in work. So your second 3 months, you know, you might actually have a little bit of love in the workplace. Or you might be starting some really wonderful collaboration that you are passionate about that really gets you feeling warm and cozy and you really enjoy at work. You might have a really good work partner. You might start a business with someone. In your personal life, you have the Knight of Pentacles, which means you might actually be thinking about offering something to someone. Or maybe you're considering an offer someone gave you. Again, that's strange, right? To get this in work and this in your personal life. So it's like, this is kind of love energy, the Cups. It's emotional. And then this has to do with work and material things in your personal life. So I'm wondering if I've been seeing a lot of this. So crazy. I've been seeing a lot of kind of like love and work kind of. I think everyone is so emotionally raw with all the stuff that they've been going through that they're more open and receptive to feeling other people in the workplace, which makes it more tempting to be involved with someone in the workplace. Now, King of Pentacles, I definitely think you might actually be starting a new beginning or really focused on a new beginning with someone in work. You know, if not, it's a very, very stable, physically grounded relationship you're considering. And then in love, we have the Ace of Cups. Oh, guys, it really does look like you might actually be partnering with a lover. You know, you may actually be a power couple. And then in your third 3 months, ooh, here comes the fighting at work. may not be so happy anymore if you're both working in a studio all day long or reselling stuff on eBay together all day long, or if you're working in an office together. You may be tired of each other. The love didn't last long, did it? Ooh, oh man, guys, this is a really intense read. Oh wow. Just wait, there's more. I know, can y'all see it? I don't think y'all can see it. Oh my God. Woo, okay. King of Cups reversed in your personal life. I think, okay, I'm going to say what I'm picking up. For some of you, you may have began a work collab with a masculine. And this masculine energy has got one thing on his mind. And it ain't work. And you, innocently and naively thinking, oh, I love who I work with now. I feel so amazing. They could be the one. It might be the one. I don't know. And then somebody gets impatient. And he's like, you know, I was only really sucking up and enjoying working with you because I want what's in your pants. And then, you know, this happens. Yeah, I'm totally seeing it, because if, you know, so many Aquarians are infamous for getting mixed signals with love and friendship. You know, oftentimes we need to be friends before we even consider being romantic with someone. And then sometimes we're just being really, really friendly, and the other person picks up something that's not really there, or, you know, they get possessive, which means an Aquarius rebels, you know? So, ooh wee, this is deep, guys. Oh yeah. And then the last 3 months, the fourth round of 3 months is the sun in work. That's crazy, isn't it? Oh, this is so wild. Okay, because you have this in your personal life, standing up for yourself. You know, standing up, you know that you have integrity. You're standing up for yourself. And then in love, ooh. Oh, I would say be careful, because looking at this, you definitely could have, what is up with the whole romance in the workplace thing, guys? I think that, like, after having a round of battle of the wits with a masculine who thinks they want to own you, and them affecting you, okay? Like, they affected you deep enough where it's like when you're going to sleep at night, you're feeling like hurt because you're like, ugh, you know, this person is like I feel them angry with me, and it affects you on a deep level because they're that jealous and possessive. And it does bring about a tower moment for you, because, you know, like, it hurts, you know, and you could love them. You could be madly in love with them too, because you got all this pretty love here and that. But with me seeing the way this looks, I'm telling you, I really feel like that's just too fast for, so, like, sometimes we can move fast as Aquas, but usually if we move fast, we can fall out of love just as fast, okay? And you may have realized it was all a big, big mistake, but then afterwards you have amazing, amazing new birth and growth and life in your work and finances, you know? And you're standing up for yourself. You refuse to be backed into a corner. And then having this, what bothers me every time I pick this up is I feel like this person is so pissed that they can't own you, that they can't win you, that they can't control you, possess you, and outdo you, and get what they thought they were going to get from you, that they try to leave a lasting impression on your heart. You know the type that's like, well, if I can't have you, nobody will. And they may not physically try to hurt you or anything, but they might actually damage you to the point where you're so scarred, tied up, mentally, this could all be their backstabbing and deception and gaslighting and all the bullshittery that you're completely walled up in love by the end of the year. You're going to be like, oh, no, I'm not even. But that's so you can enjoy your work life, your passion, what you love, what you want to do. So you have a beautiful, financial and work status by the end of the year. But this person probably does a number on you when it comes to love. But yet you're taking up for yourself. Deep down in your person, you're standing up for yourself. And I have the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And, that can be a kind of like, pushy woman. But really, when it's reversed, it's oftentimes where you're having to realize where you gave your power away to other people. Where are you not standing up for yourself? How do you tap back in to that power, feminine energy? You know what I'm saying? And of course, you guys can flip it, if you're masculine, whatever sex you are, whatever orientation. Just, this is a general read. So, let's see. What do I want to do? Okay, I know I want to pull, I'll make sure I have enough time. I don't want this to go out on me. I want to pull a Druid Animal Oracle card for what kind of spirit animal, what kind of energy would be beneficial for you guys to work with or focus on. Like, say, what kind of animal is blessing you, their spirit for the year, so that you can get through it unscathed, or at least in one piece. Okay. Ooh, I got the goose at the bottom of the deck, which is commitment. No. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this for me because it's a little different than my personal read. But this is my animal, guys. Oh my God. I know. Oh, this is so wild. Okay, so, and the way those cards work, any cards, I feel the card that wants to come out too. You know what I mean? You just know, because our tools are really our hands. And it's so weird because how Scorpio and Cancer both got so many of the same cards, it was scary. And Cancer had gotten the white hind and the owl. And then Scorpio just got the hind. And then Aquas have the owl. I'm wondering how many Scorpios and Aquarius, which I'm both, are going to be dealing with Cancers. This is my animal, guys. This is my spirit animal. I have owls everywhere. When I was little, my first animal was always the elephant because of their memory. I always had a good memory to love elephants. But at some point, I realized owl was my animal. It stands for wisdom, esoteric knowledge, turning a disadvantage into an advantage. And see, I have like this long, like pointy nose, which I used to hate. I'm used to it now. And then I have little itty bitty ears, like, I don't know if you can, they're so small that if I wear like dangly earrings, it's like awkward. Okay. I hear exceptionally well. I can hear whispers across the house, or I can hear people talking inside when I'm outside. And I have exceptional eyesight too. And I've always loved the night. I mean, it's my time, I've always been a night owl. And the weirdest thing is like, I just know it's my animal. I mean, I feel like my little nose is kind of like a beak. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But I have, and the big eyes, like the big brown eyes, I just feel owlish, right? Okay. So with you guys getting the owl card, it talks in the Druid Animal Oracle deck about how, the nighttime is scary to so many animals, but the owl takes a disadvantage and turns it into an advantage and has learned how to navigate what makes most people afraid. So that can be a very, very powerful ally for you. And the negative side of the owl is very similar to hermit mode. It's where you might withdraw from others too much. So you want to be wary of that, let the owl animal be your guide. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm liking some of these reads, despite the intensity, despite the chaos. I think I was telling Pisces about it. It's kind of like when I actually remember my, I was looking at the time. I actually remember my deja vu dreams. Like, if I have deja vu, most of the time I will actually remember, like, I'll wake up and dream and go, oh yeah, that's the future. And I'll know. Because when I have deja vu, it'll be like, oh yeah, I dreamt this. A lot of people don't remember why they have deja vu. Most of the time I do. Not always, but most of the time. And sometimes, every so often it's weird because there'll be something a little bit different. Like I'll be wearing a different t-shirt or something than what I dreamt of. But what creeps me out about those deja vu dreams is when I'm dreaming it, I'm not just seeing like a movie, okay? I'm actually in my body. I know what I'm wearing. I know what I'm smelling. Like if there's coffee brewing or if there's rain outside, or there's so many sensory things that we deal with on a moment to moment basis. You know what I mean? And there's so many things I'm dealing with in my mind. Like, like I've got to cook dinner later and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And so-and-so's coming over and like, there's so many things, and what's on the news, like all this stuff is like all in the dream, but it's all feeling it. It's not understanding it. And when I wake up from those dreams, I'm like, oh my God, that seems so intense. I don't know if I can handle it. Well, when I actually go through it, I'm like, oh, this is really, really easy. It feels so natural. I didn't think I could do it. And here I am doing it. And it feels good. And it's so crazy because like, when we tried to tap into seeing the future, whatever, we can be intimidated. But once we accept it, we get blessed. And that blessing is having vision, and some people still want to say we're evil and stuff, but those people are projecting their own evil because they're so full of hate inside. And if you're doing things by love, through love, for love, there is no law that can stand against it. And, the crazy thing is, without vision, the people perish. So when you choose to look and peer across the veil into the future, knowing that you are a divine being yourself, you can be intimidated, but that's okay. We need to be prepared for the future. It doesn't mean we know exactly how to navigate it. All we can do is be prepared. Now for you, I have the 8 of Roses. I want to read that for y'all. Oh my God, this is so wild because I'm intimidated by next year. After I did my reading and looked at my astrology, you guys need to find some good astrologers or do your own transits, Ooh, it's going to be intense. But yet I'm kind of excited, Okay. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sangha community. Inside a room, people are seated around a table, conversing with interest and energy. There are many icons from different groups and societies. I can't even pronounce that word. So, I'm skipping it. A sunflower, a Tibetan bell, an Egyptian scarab, a dream catcher, and a Star of David are just a few. This card indicates that it's the time to join or rejoin your group, your ashram, your tribe, or your sangha. Whatever you call it, it is a community that connects you with others of like-minded purpose and activity. There are many communities in each person's life, and still more that return from past lives. For instance, you have your family, friends, and work associates, but you also have the people with whom you share many creative, cultural, or spiritual purposes. New friends can also be coming your way at this time. Be open to these new connections. You will not only find help with current directives, but you may also reawaken past life relationships, talents, and disciplines. It's time for a happy sharing of your discoveries. I love it. 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 Oh, that is so Aquarian. Oh, I am digging it. What's crazy is like, if you look at the reading, which I've kind of splish-splashed now, I think that maybe that's why you're getting the stuff you do at work, and by the end of the year, you have this beauty here. Because, if you're shining, Aqua, if you're shining and you're out there joining communities that you really vibe with, you're going to get those obsessive, possessive, codependent people who want to base their joy on you. And when you say no, they're gonna lash out. It's part of it. But you know what? That's their problem. That's a them problem. It's not a you problem, is it? Because we need to focus on what's the highest good for ourselves and others. And some people are still going to be always in that codependent mind frame of gimme, 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 I want, I need. And they think love is taking. That's not love. Like, give me, I love you, I must have you, love me. That is not love. Not even close, is it? Anyway, I'm trying to think. Those of you who like and subscribe, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. I do. I bless you, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing 2023.